The last example is going to use both linear speed and angular speed in order to calculate one of the pieces. And here we want to find the angular speed. So I'm given that a unicycle has a tire with radius of 10 inches and it is traveling at a speed of 5.5 miles per hour. So right there is my starting point. I'm telling you that we're going to go 5.5 miles in 1 hour. And my goal is to find the angular speed in radians per second. So I need to convert miles into radians and then hours into seconds. So that hours into seconds sounds pretty straightforward. We know that 1 hour is 3,600 seconds. And if you want to do 1 hour over 60 minutes times 1 minute over 60 seconds, you're going to get the same result because 60 times 60 is 3,600. So 1 hour is 3,600 seconds. The other thing that I need then is I need to find radians. But the only other piece of information that I have is we have a radius of 10 inches. And currently I'm in miles. So I need to get my miles down to inches. So we know that 1 mile is 5,280 feet. So my miles cancel out. Now I've got feet per second. And I know that 1 foot is 12 inches. So my feet cancel out. So now I've got inches per second. I'm almost there. So now I ask myself, if I want to get to radians per second, the only piece that I have in terms of a factor that is going to give me radians per second is 2 pi radians over 1 revolution, or 1 revolution over 2 pi radians. And currently I've got inches over seconds. I somehow need to bring revolutions into this. So the way we can bring revolutions into this is we're going to use the linear speed formula, which is 2 pi times the radius that we know is 10 inches, and that's going to be over 1 revolution. So now my inches cancel out. And I'm really close to having my radians per second now. I now need to use my angular formula, which says that 1 revolution is 2 pi radians. So revolutions cancel out, and I now have radians per second. So we use our linear speed formula to get us into angular speed. And the hardest thing to realize is once you've got a radius, and if you need to get to radians, the only relationship that you know that contains a radius and radians is the revolution connection. And the connection with the revolutions then are the linear speed and angular speed. And if I work this out, I'm going to get 9.68 radians per second. The last piece then is how many revolutions per second does the tire make? And if I know I go 9.68 radians per second, that's the piece that I'm given from above, I know that it's 2 pi radians for 1 revolution. Now my radians cancel out, and I'm left with revolutions per second, which is approximately 1.54 revolutions per second.